Welcome to Corey's Conscious Living.
Hi guys, I wanted to just take a quick minute, just 1 minute of your time to show you this. My book. It's coming out on March the 3rd. So if you want to own this cool, awesome bedtime meditation book, then make sure that you speak with your parents or your guardian and you go to the link below the video and go order it so that you get a copy first. My book's here, kids.
Are you ready to meditate with Corey? Lie down and get comfortable in your bed. Try and stay as still as you possibly can so you can let your body start to relax. Let go of your day. It's time to relax. Heidi, Cherry and Vaya were laid in bed. It was their time to relax. They'd had a long, busy day once again, and Heidi had decided to tell them a story. Cherry and Vaya were laid still on their bed when Heidi started. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in a faraway land, there were 3 cats walking through a woody forest, deep in the middle of nowhere. Cherry said, "Ooh, this sounds like it's going to be really good." Heidi carried on. There was a cottage in the forest. The cats were tired and hungry. They were called Heidi, Cherry and Vaya, and they'd been walking through the forest all day long with nothing to eat or drink. They were so tired and hungry that they decided to stop at the cottage. It looked like someone was in there because there was smoke coming out of the chimney, as if there was a fireplace burning in the cottage. And it smelled like homemade bread. One of the cats, Cherry, said, "OMG! OMG, I just love the smell of homemade bread. Is there anything nicer than homemade bread smell? You know, like when you walk into someone's house and they've been making bread. It's like the bestest smell in the world. And I'm so hungry. I say we definitely knock on this cottage door and see if there's anyone inside that could possibly share some bread with us and maybe a nice cup of tea because I'm thirsty too." The cat that was called Vaya in the story said, "Me too. I'm very hungry and very thirsty. Me would love a cup of tea." The other cat that was called Heidi said, "I agree, let's knock on the cottage door." Heidi carried on telling the story. All 3 cats knocked on the cottage door. Bang, bang, bang. The door slowly creaked open, but there was no one inside, except this wonderful smell that hit them clean up the nose as soon as they opened the door, even stronger. Homemade bread. The cats walked inside of the cottage, shouted hello, hello, but no one answered. Not only was there the smell of homemade bread, but there were 3 bowls of porridge set steaming hot and sweet on the table. Cherry said, "Oh, you know, what story is this now? This reminds me of another story, you know, like a children's bedtime story that's really popular. With oh yeah, that one with the 3 bears and that girl with golden hair." Vaya said, "Me thinks you're talking about Goldilocks and the 3 bears." Cherry said, "Yeah, I am. That's it. They had porridge in their story. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if they eat the porridge." Heidi said, "Be quiet and you'll find out." Heidi carried on with the story. The cats walked over to the 3 bowls of porridge. Heidi said, "Do you think anyone would mind if we ate the porridge? It looks as if someone was expecting us. There is 3 bowls set out after all. 1 for me, 1 for you, Cherry, and 1 for Vaya." Both Cherry and Vaya agreed that it was probably okay that they would eat the porridge. All 3 cats sat down to the table and ate and ate and ate until there was no porridge left in the bowls. It was perfect. It was just the right temperature, just the right amount of sugar, just the right amount that each one of them was full to the brim. The cats laid back on the chair, and then all of a sudden, Heidi said to the other cats, "Does anyone feel like their tummy is turning and turning and turning, going over and over and round and around like a washing machine?" Cherry and Vaya both put one of their paws on the tummy and closed their eyes to focus on the feelings. "Yeah," said Cherry. Me thinks so too," said Vaya. All 3 cats looked at each other with big, wide open eyes. Their tummies were going around like washing machines. Cherry said, "Oh, I don't feel very well. I feel a bit dizzy. Do you think that porridge was like poisoned or something? You know, like that other story, that really well-known story with that girl that's asleep when she eats that apple that like it's a poisonous apple and there's a bad queen. Which one is that, Vaya?" Vaya said, Me thinks you're talking about Snow White." "Yeah," said Cherry, "that's it. Yeah, oh no, we're going to be asleep for 100 years because we've eaten the porridge and we weren't supposed to, and somebody poisoned the porridge." Then, all of a sudden, said Heidi as she carried on telling them the story, all 3 cats heard a very loud ringing noise in their ears, and then they shrank. Bing! All 3 cats landed on the floor like tiny, tiny little ants. Heidi was the first one to say something. "I don't believe what just happened. I think we're as tiny as an ant. Look how big the table chairs are. Look how big the table is. Look how big this cottage is," said Heidi. Cherry in the story said, "OMG, we shrank. We rinky-dinky shrank. We shrank to the size of an ant. Oh, this is awful. Oh, you know what? This reminds me of that other story. What's that other story called now where that lady has that pill and she eats that pill on that table and then she eats another pill and then she gets really big and then she gets really small and then she gets really big and then she gets really small and she keeps doing it over and over again as if she won't learn from the first time it happened. Which story's that, Vaya?" Vaya said, Me thinks you're talking about Alice in Wonderland and where Alice shrinks." "Yeah, that's it. That's exactly the one I'm talking about. What are we gonna do?" The cats, as they were laid in their bed, all looked at Heidi as she was saying the story, and Cherry said in real life, "Heidi, this story's quite intense. What are we going to do if we're all tiny and small?" Heidi said, "Listen to the story, you'll find out." "Then," said Heidi, "the little tiny ants, the cats that were small as ants, started to move across the cobblestone floor, looking here and there for clues of what to do or what they could eat or what they could drink to make them change size, just like in the story of Alice in Wonderland. There was nothing. It took them hours and hours and hours to get from one side of the room to the other because they were so tiny. And then the scariest thing that's ever happened, a big spider that wasn't even that big in real life if you're a cat, but since you're not a cat and you're actually an ant, the spider was enormous and you could see its giant pinchers moving and snapping as it started to head over toward you from the fireplace. Vaya said, "Oh, me doesn't like this story. Me thinks you should change it, Heidi. Me doesn't like it." Heidi said, "Don't worry, it gets better." Vaya said, "Oh, okay then. Okay, but don't let that spider eat us. In the story, Cherry, that's now an ant, says, OMG, a giant spicey's gonna come and get us and eat us. What shall we do? I know what we'll do. We'll do another story, another magical story. After me, say abracadabra, and we'll all change into a normal cat size and we'll be totally okay, and we'll be able to completely ignore that big giant spicy that's headed over from the fireplace that could possibly eat us and squish us with its... say it! Abracadabra! Heidi said. All 3 cats at the same time said abracadabra, and they switched magically back into cats, just in the nick of time before the giant spider, that wasn't that giant, but it was giant to an ant, headed over from the fireplace. They turned into the normal cat size, looked down at the spider, and said, Oh, hello, very chilled out and relaxed. Vaya said, Phew, oh, thank goodness, Cherry. I was really scared. Thank goodness we're back into the size of a cat. Now what shall we do? Cherry said, Well, me, I don't know about you 3, but me, I'm absolutely exhausted after being stressed out and panicked like that and feeling really, really anxious like that. You know, whenever you're anxious or you're tired or you're afraid, then it just instantly takes it out on your body and you get really, really drained and really, really tired really easy. And it's advisable, if you can, to lay down and take a nap. I think we should lay down on that really big bed, that really big comfortable bed over there, and rest. Heidi, in the story, said, I think that's a good idea. Heidi, who was reading the story, said the cats went over to the giant bed. They had a bit of a problem because the bed was so tall. So tall. Like the tallest bed that they've ever seen. Cherry, as she was trying to climb up the bed, said, This reminds me of that story. You know that one where there's a bed and there's a pea in the bed and it's under the mattress and there's a princess and the princess lays on the bed and she's a princess, and because she's a princess she can feel the pea even through the mattress. So they test her and they put a mattress on top of a mattress on top of a mattress on top of a mattress, and they keep going higher and higher and higher till it's a really big bed, and all the way down at the bottom there's a pea, and the princess climbs all the way to the top of the bed, just like we're doing right now. We're climbing up this giant bed to get to the top, and then when she got to the top she laid down, and guess what? She could still feel the pea through all of those mattresses because she was a real princess. I think it went something like that. Vaya said, Yeah, me knows. It's the Princess and the Pea story. Cherry said, Yeah, that's it, exactly. Heidi carried on talking about the story. The 3 cats laid down on top of the giant tall bed and decided it was time for a nap. They were exhausted because of the stress of the giant spider that wasn't that giant. They all closed their eyes. They got comfortable on the big soft bed that didn't have a pea in it, so it was extra comfortable. At one point, Vaya thought that she felt something under the mattress and maybe it was a pea, but when Cherry checked, it wasn't a pea. It was just the pointy part of a feather from the down covers. But Cherry told Vaya that she was a princess, and that's probably why she felt it. It didn't take very long for the 3 cats to fall fast asleep in the cottage in the middle of nowhere, far, far away, a long time ago. The end. Cherry and Vaya looked at Heidi and said, Heidi? Cherry said, Heidi? That was like the bestest story that you've told up to date. It was entertaining, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, it was relaxing at the end, it was absolutely perfect. I'm ready for a nap. Vaya said, Me liked it too, especially the part at the end where Cherry told me I was a princess. Thank you, Cherry. Cherry said. Well, you are a princess, Vaya. You dress like a princess, you act like a princess, then I'd say you're a princess, wouldn't you? Heidi said, she's definitely a princess. Now, move over so I can climb into bed with you two, snuggle down, get comfortable, and go to sleep. In real life, it didn't take very long for the cats to fall fast asleep and have the bestest dreams about a cottage in the middle of nowhere that smelled like homemade bread. The end.